Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Keith Andrew Network. I am your host, Keith Andrew. Along here is Julia Ubrankovics, and I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
You're so welcome. It's a pleasure for being here. Thank you for having me.
Now, for people who want to know what uncensored, I almost said uncensored freedom of speech, freedom of self-expression, but for people who want to know what the Keith Andrew Network is, basically the whole point of the Keith Andrew Network is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still overcome controversy and reach my goals in life. At the same time, I'm able to turn myself into a perfect example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities in general. But you should never give up. You should prove to people you can stem out to something. Now, before we get started, if it's possible for you to move the camera centered, because after we do the editing, it's got to cut everything off. Okay, perfect. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Is that good?
So I told you that in the beginning. But like I said,
Okay.
It's live. Anything can happen live. And now we're all over the world. We're in over the states in the U.S. We're in Canada. We're in England. So the Keith Andrew Network is now globalized. And with that being said, starting off, you have a half hour, 40 minutes of your time. You can say anything you want, curse if you want to. And
Well, first of all, I think that your story is so inspirational, and I'm really inspired by your strength and courage, and leading by example. And this is what I try to do in my life with my work. So I'm so happy that we found each other and we can share our experiences. I'm an actor and a producer, and I live in Los Angeles, but I'm from Hungary. And right now, while we're Skyping, I'm still in Hungary for my summer vacation / work / family time. And it's been really great to find like-minded people and get on a journey that I wasn't even imagining 6 or 7 years ago when I started in New York.
No, absolutely. Now, what can you tell us about, that's my first subject, and the first subject may be called Life Growing Up. So I'm going to ask you, you can ask me, basically normal conversation, change it up. And the first thing I'm going to ask you is, growing up in Hungary, what was your life like? And when you were in high school and college, were you a study nerd or party animal?
I was born during the communism, which at the very end of it was still communism. So, and I was born on the Hungarian-Austrian border, which was divided by the Iron Curtain. That is much like between Mexico and the U.S. that, it's really hard for them to come and visit, as, however, for an American, it's really easy to go to Mexico and, stay and have a holiday. So when I was growing up, it was a very strange thing to look out the window and think, oh, I can never go there. That's impossible. And the idea of impossible was really something that I disliked. I just couldn't understand. Why is it impossible? Who is telling me that it's impossible? But I could do it, I felt. And shortly after, the Soviet Union fell apart, and we were free to go. We had a car, and my father, he drove me over to Austria. So I thought, wow, I did it. That's great. And maybe I can get further, right? So slowly but surely, I traveled all Europe. And at school, I think just because I had this drive to do stuff that others say it's impossible, I was really a good student, but I was a rebel. So teachers hated me. They hated my guts. They couldn't deal with me. They expelled me from classes because I had different opinions and different views. And looking, this was 20 plus years ago, I'm so happy and so thankful that at that early age I was able to discover something for myself and follow my own ideas. And I think we have to encourage each other to stand up for our individual truth and for what we feel is right deep inside. And if anyone else is telling you that you're wrong or you're not valid or you're not good enough or whatever, you don't fit in, then you just say, that's your opinion, that's your reality, that's not mine, and you are not influencing me. I can make whatever happen in my own life. Of course, sticking to this every day is a tough job. It's tough to remind ourselves that, okay, I'm creating my reality. Okay, I'm the leader, I'm the captain of my boat, and I have to work, But yeah, this was me growing up.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I came up with some new ideas doing subjects for my talk show, because usually I go from one thing to another. After the video is done, there's got to be like little labels that tell people what subject they're on. So I'm gonna throw it back at me. I'm the youngest out of 4 brothers and 1 sister. I was basically diagnosed with depression, social anxiety. I suffered from panic attacks, and I was basically said I was never going to amount to anything. And basically,
that's terrible.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that's terrible that someone would tell you that.
No, absolutely. This is basically, how my high school life was. Freshman year, I had my brother's friends there who were held back or they didn't graduate. So I had his friends there. That was my whole freshman year, spending time with his friends. Sophomore year, I joined audiovisual, AV, the audiovisual department. And towards the end, mostly of my junior year, I created my own talk show. It was called the Keith Andrew Show, the Keith Andrew Power Hour, the Extreme Power Hour, the Keith and Tony Show, the Keith and Andrew Show, the Keith and Megan or Safina Show. So a bunch of different names. But my senior year, they're like, yeah, let's face it, you're not going to go to college. So this is like a newspaper. Here's a newspaper. Go sit in the corner and don't bother us. So every day, I was in the, I used to cut class. It used to be an AV because it's like, I don't have, this is freaking ridiculous. I took all special ed classes. But I was like, I tried taking normal classes. Some of them I did pass, and so I mostly failed most of them. Because it wasn't just the fact that I failed, it was the fact that I'll give you a perfect example. My health class was about team projects. And there was another class called Team Life Skills, about team projects. And I kind of still do have poor social skills. And it was so hard for me to interact with people growing up, so I ended up failing classes. I kind of wish I had my talk show back then. Now I can't shut up. Now when I see someone I like, I just go over and start talking to them, and this is more like therapy for myself. It helps me get over my social skills, social anxiety.
I think you have great social skills. I think you have absolutely delightful social skills. Don't ever believe anyone telling you otherwise.
Well, it's been 10 years, and I'm not the same person who I once was. But while wrapping up, I didn't mean to complain to you. But while wrapping up, did he ever do any sports growing up? And did he ever get the chance to do one of those human pyramids?
Oh, no, I never did that. Did you do that?
I love human pyramids, but I never got the chance to do one.
Oh, me neither. No.
Would you be interested in doing one?
no, I think I would be afraid of falling.
Well, don't knock it until you try it.
And I'm not strong enough to hold anyone, but I'm taking really good pictures. So I would take pictures of it.
Maybe you can work something out. Were you athletic when you were growing up? Did you do any sports?
Well, I was climbing trees, so sure. But other than that, I just really enjoyed being active, and I was doing all sorts of sports like swimming and rock climbing, and I was trained in martial arts later when I went to university, and horseback riding and all that. But I never focused my talent on one sport. I think I was not able to. I don't know. I didn't push myself to just be very, very good in one sport. I'd like to try it all.
Oh, absolutely. And
Did you do any sports?
I'm not really good with the hand-eye coordination. Like, I get the idea right, left. But, I lost count how many times I got whacked in the face. Because people say, hey, think fast, and they throw the basketball, and I lost count how many times I got hit in the face, my glasses got broken. Just for fun, I do shoot hoops. I do walk around the lake or the neighborhood.
Oh, that's great.
I haven't done it recently, but I do like being active. One thing I do want to do is buy a bike. And you're probably gonna laugh at me because I want to buy a bike and put training wheels on it.
No, I used to have those too. We all do. And my friend, she's a dancer and she doesn't even know how to ride a bicycle. So that's okay. Enjoy.
No, absolutely. The reason I want to get the training wheel, two stories about them, on the next subject. Actually, before I tell you this bike story, I wanted to mention, you mentioned you like climbing trees. So if you like climbing things, then I think you'd be perfect for the human pyramid.
You can't talk me into it.
Well, we can work on it. By going to the bike, I have horrible balancing skills. And so I was like, well, I always wanted to ride a bike. Why not get a little support on it? So I'm going to ride the bike, and basically the bike is just basically going to have the training wheels to keep my balance.
Yeah, there you go. You can make it work for yourself, and who cares?
Yeah, it's like I'm doing it for me. I'm not here to please anyone. It's like
exactly. Way to go. I respect that.
And the other time is my brother had a bike in the basement. I used to ride my sister's bike at the best I can. I used to have my feet dangle on the side so it's good at balancing. So it's a girl's bike, so it's lower to the ground. Whatever. My brother's bike he had a big yellow bike. So the first time I tried to get on it, I moved like an inch, and the thing fell on me. And not just falling on me, I got my leg wrapped around the whole the metals, the pedals, and everything.
Yeah.
I scared the shit out of myself. I thought, I was gonna get my leg cut off, and because it was really bad. So
with everything in life, and even with just riding a simple bicycle, is the same principle that you have to try, and you fall and fall. But it doesn't matter how many times you fall. What matters is how many times you stand up. That's the only thing that matters. You can fall 15 million times until you just stand up and you don't fall anymore. So just, that's the important. And I think you mentioned something about what horrible skills you had and what a failure that was and all that. I was listening to Oprah yesterday because a friend of mine gave me this really amazing video of her talking about failure and she said, and I love Oprah, and she said that there is no failure. Failure is just this thing that reminds us that this is not what we want to create in our lives. It's just this thing that pushes us into the right direction. Failure is not a negative thing. We can never fail. We're on our path. Failure is just a reminder that, oh, maybe I should think, I should slow down and change gears and go a little to the left or to the right. And I think that's so important, because it's so easy to judge ourselves and be hard on ourselves and compare ourselves. And we don't have to do that, you know. There, in the past 15 billion years, there were never, not once, two snowflakes the same. All snowflakes are different and individual. There were no two people the same. So we don't have to strive to be someone else. We just have to be ourselves, and that's going to be perfect.
No, absolutely. Now, the next question I was going to ask you is, are you interested in doing voiceovers, number one? And number two, you're going to your acting career now. One, are you interested in voiceovers? Two, were you in any TV shows and movies? And how did you get started?
Well, I started acting in Hungary because I'm Hungarian. And over here, actors do everything. We do repertory theaters, we do TV movies, we do films, and we do lots of radio broadcasting shows and working for the radio. And also, we used to dub all our movies. I mean, all the American movies coming in were dubbed into Hungarian. So I did lots of voiceover, and I think that's a lot of fun. And back to my acting career, it started here in Hungary, but then I moved to Germany. From Germany, I moved to the States, to New York first, and then I moved to Los Angeles, and from Los Angeles I moved to Hawaii, and then from Hawaii I moved back to LA, and I love it. I produce 2 theater, which I'm very passionate about, and I think it's very important to follow our passion and our dreams.
No, absolutely. You know, first off, I didn't realize in the beginning, but the more I'm looking at you, like I said, you are beautiful. And the more I'm looking at you, you really look like Cameron Diaz.
Oh, thanks! I love her.
I see you're going for her look. You can be her stunt double.
That would be fun if she would be my stunt double, right?
Well, that too. I'm not saying the looks and the mannerisms. It's like if I didn't tell anyone you are Julia, people would be like, "Wow, I didn't know you interviewed Cameron Diaz."
Well, that's a very sweet compliment. Thank you. I love the feathers and the palm trees on your shirt. They are so much fun. Yeah, I want to have a shirt like that. It looks really cool.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I like standing out. When I first did my talk show, I always had like a color shirt. So I always had like a purple or red and a blue. Yeah, I didn't want to sound repetitive. So when I did season 2 and I'm following the transition in season 3, that's like, you know what, I'm gonna be like you, you know, you're wearing like a tank top shirt and it's not like a button up shirt.
I'm wearing a dress. It's a really nice dress.
Oh, it's really nice. Looks great on you. Well, like I was saying, you know, that you wearing like this from here, it looks like it doesn't wear like a tank top shirt. But, you know, it's like, well, why not be a little more laid back? Why not do something a little different? So I'm not wearing a shirt like this. I wear like my Iron Maiden, Metallica shirt, and I'll rock and roll. And I like to wear different shirts just to say, okay, I can show different sides of my personality, if that makes sense. Instead of being, okay, we're gonna wear the same red shirt for 100 episodes and be like,
oh, that would be so boring.
Yeah.
Don't do that. No.
But with that being said, can you give us I'm gonna give you a couple of lines. I'm a big fan of Dumbo. Just trying to find the words for it. If I give you a couple of lines from Dumbo, could you translate it into Hungary so our fans know?
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright, so the first one would be like, gaining a little weight, aren't we, honey?
Oh, you're cracking me up. Meghisztel egy picit szívem, nem gondolod?
But yeah, well, whatever favorite words do you know in Hungary?
Okay. What would you like me to say in Hungarian? I can say anything.
That's completely up to you. What are your favorite words?
Oh, you know, like many years ago, there was a contest between all the languages. That was like the early 1900s, and each country, each nation was picking their word that they thought best describes love. And then there was a jury, and they picked a Hungarian word for love that sounded the most beautiful for their ears, and it was halolai, because they thought that halolai sounds beautiful and can describe love in such an interesting way. But other than that, I don't have favorite Hungarian words or German or English. I very much love poetry. And when you go to my website, juliaubrankovics.com, you see that I have a little poetry series that's called Meaningful Minutes. These are like short poems by female poets, writers who wrote something beautiful that I fall in love with. And I'm a big fan of poetry.
No, absolutely. Now, wrapping up the talk show, I'm going to pass the show over to you. But before we do, I'm going to save my part for the end. Force of habit. Now, I'm going to pass the show over to you, which is your time. You can ask me anything you want, and you can promote yourself. Are you on social media? And was there anything you wanted to ask me?
Well, you know, your story and the way that you were talking about yourself is such an inspiration. So I just want to encourage you to go for your own dreams and for your own destiny, and take the power back into your hands. And if you feel more comfortable in these shirts, go for it. They look great. And pick the subjects that are interesting for you. Don't ever care about anyone else telling you otherwise. And yes, I am on social media. You can find me on Facebook, on Instagram. I have my website, and I'm on IMDb. So there are many ways to connect. But I think that what we all have to remember these days, and it's now really hot and steamy in Hungary, I don't know how it's in New York, to realize that we are all connected, you know, that we're creating something together. And the world is a better place if we're kind to one another. The world is a better place if we pay attention. The world is a better place if we think about the happiness of all of us, and sharing and including and opening up and looking out for each other, because we are not here as individuals. We are here being part of something bigger. And I think that, you know, this is the subject that I'm interested right now. So I would like to just remind us of the importance of this.
No, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Now, wrapping up, when I first approached you for my talk show, what was your honest opinion on me? And after doing the interview, how do you feel now?
Well, I was so surprised because I never saw anyone doing a talk show like this. And I was surprised that you found me. So my surprise was not about you, it was about myself that, oh wow, someone wants to have a talk show with me. That was really, really sweet. I felt very, that was like a compliment. And I was immediately taken by your strength and by this idea of sharing your journey with others and showing that if you can do it, they can do it. And you are a leader with your life, and I'm a leader with my life. So if I can be of any support, of any help or inspiration, I'm so happy to do so.
No, absolutely. Now stay tuned. We're going to talk after the show. But wrapping up our interview segment, it was a real honor and privilege to have you as a guest.
Thank you. It was my honor. Goodbye.